For more than 3 decades, the subject lived without drawing sustained suspicion. This was not because investigators were inactive, it was because the public life and the criminal activity rarely overlapped in visible ways. The first factor was time. The crimes occurred over a long span, beginning in the 1970s and ending in the early 1990s. The intervals between incidents were often long. These gaps reduced patterns that could be immediately recognized. They also reduced urgency once the activity stopped. After 1991, there were no confirmed crimes connected to the case. There were no communications. There were no demands or threats. From an investigative perspective, the offender appeared inactive. When a case goes quiet, resources shift, personnel are reassigned, new cases take priority. This is standard practice. The case remained open, but it was no longer active. The second factor was normalcy. The subject did not live on the margins of society. He lived within it. He held stable employment. He participated in institutions associated with trust and responsibility. His work as a city compliance officer placed him in a position of authority. It required documentation. It required interaction with residents. It required consistency. There is no public evidence that this role raised concerns about criminal behavior. His involvement in church leadership further reinforced perceptions of stability. Church roles involve oversight and cooperation. They rely on reputation. They are often filled through familiarity rather than background investigation. In family life, there were no public records of criminal complaints, no arrests, no known domestic disturbances. From the outside, nothing required formal review. He was not transient, he was not unemployed, he was not known to law enforcement. This limited the effectiveness of traditional investigative methods. DNA analysis was limited during the early years of the investigation. Biological evidence was preserved but not immediately actionable. Connections that would later be decisive could not yet be made. The letters sent to police did not lead to identification. They confirmed responsibility, but they did not provide location. They were mailed through standard channels. They contained no forensic markers usable at the time. In some ways, the letters prolonged anonymity. They created the appearance of presence without proximity. They reinforced the idea of an unknown outsider. Another factor was compartmentalization. The crimes, communications, and daily life were kept separate. There is no public record showing overlap in time or location that drew attention. No witness reported suspicious behavior tied directly to the subject. The subject did not seek publicity under his real identity. He did not insert himself into investigations. He did not contact police as himself. This separation limited exposure. The floppy disk represented a break from earlier caution. Unlike handwritten letters, it contained embedded information. This information was not visible to the sender. It was not intended as a clue. That single object connected the anonymous communications to a physical location. For the first time, the case moved from abstraction to specificity. Once a location was identified, standard investigative methods became effective. Access logs were reviewed, personnel lists were examined, patterns emerged quickly. The subject was not identified through behavioral profiling. He was identified through data. This distinction matters. It explains why earlier methods failed. After the arrest, investigators reviewed the case with the benefit of hindsight. They examined what had been available at the time. They acknowledged that no single failure explained the delay. Instead, it was a combination of factors: long gaps between crimes, limited forensic tools, an offender who blended into institutional life, assumptions about what a suspect should look like. The case did not reveal a hidden mastermind. It revealed an ordinary structure that went unquestioned. Routine became camouflage. Familiarity reduced scrutiny. Even after the confessions, uncertainty remained. Some materials referenced by the subject were never recovered. Some statements could not be independently verified. Law enforcement documented these limits publicly. There is no confirmed evidence of additional victims. There is also no definitive proof that the known list is complete. The record remains open on that point. What is clear is that the double life did not depend on complexity. It depended on separation. Each role existed independently. Each reinforced the other by contrast. The public life generated trust. That trust caused reduced suspicion. Reduced suspicion allowed privacy. Privacy allowed concealment. This pattern is not unique to this case. It appears in multiple investigations involving long-term concealment. That is why the case continues to be studied, not as an anomaly, but as an example. The legal story ended in 2005. The analytical story did not. It continues in training manuals, academic reviews, and investigative reform discussions. This case does not conclude with a final revelation. It concludes with a question. How many systems must align for a double life to remain invisible? That question does not require speculation. It is answered by the record itself. For over 30 years, two lives existed in the same place. One followed rules, one violated them. They were not connected until technology forced a connection. That delay is the final fact of this case, and it is the reason it continues to be examined.